What's up, everybody? Jimmy Faluca reporting with Frank. Frank, how's it going, buddy?
Cool.
All right, we are one day away from NXT Takeover Brooklyn 2 and 2 days away from SummerSlam 2016. And according to my co-host, Frank, this is the most important weekend for WWE since WrestleMania. Frank, can you explain to the
Oh,
audience why you think that is so?
even I'll go even further than that. It's this pay-per-view is probably the biggest pay-per-view of the decade so far. I mean, this is let's not forget they've been marketing and pushing and building the new era on the fans. So we've seen a little bits and pieces of the new era. We saw it at the Money in the Bank. We saw it the following night at Raw. And what have we been talking about always? Are these just little cookies to appease the fans, or are they going
Or are they
to?
serious?
Yeah, or they're going to go back to the same old stuff. We saw the demotion of Roman Reigns.
But not so much.
Yeah, we'll see. These are questions that will get answered and must get answered, and they must deliver. So hold on. First of all, let's talk about James for our two viewers. James today had a meet and greet with Dolph Ziggler at Brooklyn,
Yes, I did.
and so did your sister and her boyfriend, right?
Yes, we did. And so
Nicole.
did my future brother-in-law, Alan. We all got to meet him. Dolph was very, very nice. He was very personable. He was happy to talk with us. He liked my Black Sabbath T-shirt that I had on at the time.
Did you ask him why he's such a big partier and womanizer?
Not at all. I was tempted to say, dude, just get out of this company and go somewhere else where you'll be appreciated.
Who's going to pay him? Who's going to pay him that money?
At some point in time, Frank, the money becomes secondary. If you don't believe me, ask guys like Dean Malenko, and if they were alive, you could ask guys like Benoit and Guerrero.
Dean Malenko.
Let me explain. They had guaranteed money from WCW. They were getting paid a substantial amount of money, but after a certain point, they were never going to get past a certain level, and at some point, pride comes into play.
No, I understand. Listen,
but Dolph was very nice. My father told me immediately when he found out I was going to this meet and greet, he says, "Tell him that your father says he's the most underrated guy in that company, and he deserves more than what he got."
Now let me ask
so
you.
I told him, and he appreciated it.
How did you get this to happen? What was the process?
Well, it was my brother-in-law was walking through Brooklyn from coming home from school, and he told my fiance, who then told me, and then I passed that information along to my sister, and we all went. It was very.
Did you have to pay for this?
No, I didn't have to pay anything.
Did you have to make reservations, or you just first come?
No, we had when we went there, we had to sign a waiver because we may end up,
you might be on TV. They might use
footage may end up on TV. But Frank, let me tell you something. Tons of people.
Oh yeah.
Tons.
Listen,
of people.
They say by 2020, that Brooklyn is going to become the third largest city in the U.S., overtaking Chicago. Brooklyn is happening.
But there was people from Queens, there were people from Manhattan, there were people from Staten Island. People came from all the boroughs to see Dolph Ziggler, but apparently no one cares about him.
Probably people from all over the world, Monsoon.
Yeah, it's just I just find it so funny, and I'm not going to name names, but I've had people on the page say, "Oh, nobody cares about Dolph Ziggler. The only reason he ever had any heat was because of Vicky Guerrero," and that just makes me fucking laugh.
Well, listen, it's about the booking, but tell who's ever watching this, or whoever will watch this, what did you talk about? Because there was a picture that you posted where you looked like you were in a deep conversation with him.
Yeah, no, I was telling him about my father because my father is a big fan of Dolph Ziggler. He loves the guy. He thinks he's very talented. My father's one of the people that believes Dolph Ziggler. My father's in agreement with Hardcore Holly, who spoke recently with the Sol Monster on the Sol Monster Sounds Off podcast. He said that he felt Dolph Ziggler should already be a world champion. And I'm not talking the big gold belt that was demolished. I'm talking the belt in the company because there was
the one he's going for this Sunday.
Absolutely.
So what was Dolph? To tell us what Dolph was saying.
Well, I told him what my father thought of him, and he says, "Well, tell your dad I appreciate that." And I looked at him and I said, "Listen, I've been watching you since 2006." He started laughing because he knows I meant the Spirit Squad, and I said, "I seen you take a lot of shit,
But so what?
But
That's a good fan.
and I said,
I know he's embarrassed of it.
I said, you never let it, hinder your performance, and that I appreciate more than anything. He shook my hand. He said, I appreciate the loyalty.
So
Thank you.
you respect. You told him you respect his work.
That's what I basically told him. You took a lot of shit, but you never let it hinder your performance and your work ethic. So I appreciated that, and he appreciated that. He shook my hand, and it was nice. I wish I could have had more time with him, but there were so many people.
How much time were you allotted? Did they tell you?
They didn't really tell me how much time. They took the picture. Someone was coming in, but he waved them off because we were continuing what we were saying. And then he personalized my autograph. I was supposed to leave with it. He personalized it.
Okay.
Because, and I remember one of the guys that was there said they love personalizing autographs because then that means you're not going to try to sell it. When you ask for it to be personalized,
right.
You're not going to sell it on eBay.
Right.
All my autographs, if I had to say, were all personalized. Like when I met Taker, he personalized it. When I met Sting, Kurt Angle, Kane, Bret Hart,
and when you say personalized, explain that to
they sign to you your name and then they put their signature.
Okay.
Because who the hell is going to sell an autograph on eBay with their name on it?
Right, unless
your name is Harry. If your name is Harry and the autographs it says Frank, for example, the fuck are you going to do with that? Whoever has it is going to know you didn't get that.
Right, you're going to have to sell it to another James.
There you go. But but I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy that I went to Staples this morning to get it printed out. It was a collage of him with the World Heavyweight title. And he was smiling at the picture. I said, yeah, I got it printed out this morning because I wanted to have something nice for him to sign. He was such a nice guy. He really was.
Was he the only one there? Was there any other performers there?
But Finn Balor was in the Bronx.
Oh,
and
really?
Apparently,
where in the Bronx?
An autograph signing in the Bronx. I'm not sure of which part of it was. But one of the guys that I became friends with there said, people were getting turned away at 10 o'clock this morning.
Wow.
So many people
went.
Well,
again, like I said, Brooklyn.
But remember, Frank, no one cares about Dolph Ziggler. No one knows who Finn Balor is.
Well, it's not even about that. I'm sure they have fans, but I think it's more of indicative of the population. There's so many people in Brooklyn, so they're gonna get. This isn't Jerkwater, USA, where they have 590 people in the town.
No, I know that, but there were tons of people in Dolph Ziggler T-shirts. I'm like, now listen, I've always known that Ziggler was over. I didn't think that many people would turn out to see him. They did.
Listen, people don't realize New York is the epicenter of the WWE.
Absolutely.
They started here. The WWE was the Northeastern Territory. The old timers refer to as New York.
Absolutely. They said if you wanted to make money, you would go to one of two places. You either go to New York with the McMahons, or you would go to St. Louis with the NWA.
That's right.
Those were the two major and if you got lucky, maybe you could even go down to Florida, and that's where Dusty Rhodes was.
Right. But everybody wants everybody.
Everyone ultimately wanted to go to New York.
New York is the show because New York is the biggest market.
Absolutely. But it was nice meeting Dolph. I wished him luck for tomorrow. And then he looked at me and he said, hopefully all my hard work will pay off. Which, this is where now this part of me gets in the way. Because I love Dean Ambrose as the WWE champion.
Okay. We'll save that for later.
All right.
Talk about
Frank, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm saying, so that was it? Then you left?
Yeah, and then I left and I came straight back here because I had to go pick up a few things.
And what about your sister? We saw her and her boyfriend.
Yeah, they were very happy to meet Dolph. We're all fans of him.
Hey, he doesn't seem like he's really that big of a guy.
No, he really isn't that big of a guy, but to me, that's never really been...
No, I know, I'm saying...
like, when I met Bret the Hitman Hart, he wasn't that big of a guy, neither was Kurt Angle.
Yeah, all these performers look larger than life on TV.
But a friend of mine told me that when he met the Big Show, he said television... And Michael Cole has said this many times on television.
Justice doesn't
do it justice, because when you see him in person, it's like Taker. When I met him, the dude was 1,000 feet tall. Right. I couldn't get over it. I could not get over it.
And imagine people who used to see Andre and stuff like that.
My dad met Andre when he was a kid. My dad actually has a card signed by Andre somewhere in my grandparents' house. Right. He met Andre the Giant. He met Special Delivery Jones. He met the Moondogs. Because the wrestlers used to, for those of you that don't know, the wrestlers used to go to the colleges all over the place, the auditoriums. That's how it was done back in the day.
So
part of me wishes that type of environment was around, because then the events feel more, because you can feel the energy of the crowd that's there. Maybe that's why I enjoy NXT and the Cruiserweight Classic so much, because it's a smaller venue and you're able to feel that energy from the crowd, and they're entertained for the whole.
More, right. It's more personalized. That's why.
Absolutely.
But
tomorrow we got a big day, Frank, which is NXT Takeover Brooklyn 2.
Right.
And if it's anything like last year, it's a good show. It's going to be a good show.
Now NXT moves out of their what is that, Full Sail?
Yes, they're moving out of Full Sail and into the Barclays Center. And last year, sold out.
So they're getting the same. They get the same audience as SummerSlam.
Yes, they do. Just like they did last year. And a lot more people enjoyed NXT Brooklyn last year than they did SummerSlam. And I can tell you from experience, I went to SummerSlam last year, but I watched NXT TakeOver on the Greyhound bus ride coming home from Chicago.
And we saw NXT.
I enjoyed NXT Brooklyn way more than I enjoyed. Now, don't get me wrong. When I was at SummerSlam and the lights went out and Taker came out, I'm a 6-year-old kid again.
And let's not forget.
But in terms of a show from top to bottom, I enjoyed NXT more.
Yeah, let's not forget, back in April, NXT Dallas stole the show at WrestleMania.
Absolutely. Is there any doubt that NXT Dallas was a better show than WrestleMania 32?
And some could say maybe that's because WrestleMania underwhelmingly underperformed, but that was that NXT Dallas show was
exceptional.
Short, sweet, tight, and probably
good matches.
May have the match of the year. We'll see at the end of the year with Nakamura.
We'll see when the year is up. And think about it, Frank. August is almost over.
Yeah,
you believe that?
It's crazy. But let's go.
Let's go through the card. The first two matches we have, they're relatively new performers. In the first one, Ember Moon versus Billie Kay.
I never heard any of them.
I've never heard of Ember Moon, but apparently she's pretty good. And Billie Kay's been an extra female wrestler down in NXT. And she does well for herself.
Okay.
We have my friend Rich, one of my friend's favorite guys down in NXT. No, wait, Jose, going up against the greatest man that ever lived, Austin Aries. Now, I'm an Austin Aries fan.
Oh,
I've seen a lot of his matches from Ring of Honor. I watched a lot of his stuff when he was in TNA. I actually remember watching with my friend Christian the night Austin Aries, for the first time ever, became the TNA heavyweight champion. I would
argue Austin Aries is probably one of the top 10, 15 performers in the world, in-ring performers.
Hey, listen, you wouldn't get that. You wouldn't get any argument from me. Austin Aries has always done well. He's fresh off of a heel turn. I'm expecting him to go over in this match. The next match we have is a match I am looking very much forward to. The Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, are going up against Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Let me tell you something, Frank. Deviating from NXT for a minute, if you haven't watched the Cruiserweight Classic, do yourself a favor. If you want great matches that'll keep you on the edge of your seat, you got to watch the Cruiserweight Classics. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa at one point faced each other as opponents.
Yes.
My goodness, the match was incredible.
Ciampa is the latest steal for Triple H.
I'm sorry?
I said Tommaso Ciampa is the latest steal for Triple H. He keeps discovering these talents that nobody ever heard of.
It's not that he's discovering them. He's having the sense to sign them.
Oh, okay. Whereas
Vince, that's where I think that there's a big miscommunication between.
And who just I don't want to get off, but who signs the checks?
I understand that Vince signs the checks, but it's Triple H who wants them signed, because I think he understands the age of the the big jacked up heavyweight champion that rules everything is dead. It's been dead for years. This is the era of the athlete, and that's where these guys will prosper. I'm expecting this to be a very good tag team match. I don't know.
Maybe Triple H will write himself in for the main event again next year.
Listen, the main event of WrestleMania this year, there's no doubt it was a complete disaster.
I'm joking.
Triple H was in the listen. I don't want to get off topic, Frank. I believe that if Roman Reigns would have walked out of that stadium as the WWE champion, but as a heel, and him and Triple H did that double turn, we would be talking a lot differently about that main event, because the results and how it goes about ultimately plays the role in how we view the match. Because, for example, this is a movie Frank's been telling me to watch, The Deer Hunter. Okay.
You got it.
Yes. And you were right. Excellent.
You watched it from start to end?
No, I'm just showing you. Yes. Yes.
No, listen, it's a 3.5 hour long movie. It's a long movie.
I've seen Gone with the Wind. So I can sit through long movies.
That movie, The Deer Hunt, is like reading a book.
Which we both know we both love to do. When you go see a movie, if the middle of the movie, if the beginning is good, but the middle is bad and the ending is stupid, it's not a good movie. But if the beginning is a little the middle starts to pick up and the ending really, really delivers, that equals a good movie.
As was The Deer Hunt, right?
Yes. But the story between Roman Reigns and Triple H, if you really stop and think about it, Roman Reigns was trying to play the role of Daniel Bryan, going against the Authority and beating Triple H. Ultimately, it just didn't work.
To keep beating dead horse, we all know it failed because everybody on the planet knew Roman Reigns was leaving WrestleMania the winner.
I don't think that it failed simply because they knew he was walking out with the title. The reason the Roman Reigns push as the main event champion ultimately has been a failure and can be viewed as nothing other than a failure is because he's getting the Golden Boy booking.
Yes.
And as long as anyone, and I think Frank will agree with me on this, anyone getting the Golden Boy booking, it's death. Right. It doesn't matter whether they're big or small. If you're getting Golden Boy booking, which means you're head and shoulders above everyone else, you have no vulnerabilities, there's no way you could lose except with fuck finishes, and there's no progression with your character, you're dead in the water. You could do that with anybody. Like if they call up Shinsuke Nakamura tomorrow and he just beats everyone, he has no vulnerabilities, believe me, no matter how talented he is, people will get sick of that.
Right. It's like watching the best team in basketball blow out everybody.
Absolutely. If you look at even in the NFL, they're still losing a certain. Could you imagine how boring the friggin' season would be if the champions always went 16-0? You would know, but
and won by 20.
You would know halfway through the season. Fuck, these guys are going to win the Super Bowl.
And won every game by 20, 30 points.
Absolutely. It would be absolutely ridiculous. Even the teams that end up winning the trophy and winning the game that matters the most lose a handful of their games. You can't always fucking win.
We need drama. You need suspense.
It's like I said, for those of you that are sports fans, Frank and I are both sports fans. As much as we may want the Mets to win, could you imagine if the friggin' World Series champions every year didn't lose a fucking game? By halfway through the season, you'd know who's winning.
Right.
But why would you want to watch? There's no intrigue. There's no emotional investment. And to quote Jim Ross, the greatest announcer of all time who wore a headset like Frank is wearing right now, when the fans are emotionally invested, everybody wins. Now let's get back to the card. I don't see the Revival dropping the tag titles anytime soon.
No, as we know, the champions in NXT usually hold.
They're the only two-time NXT tag champions in history. And let me tell you something, Frank. The Revival, I've said this on the show before, and I'm going to say it again. They remind me a lot of Arn and Ole Anderson, and they have a great tag team finish. It's the flapjack into the code breaker. Absolutely love it.
Okay.
They're really good, but you're going to be impressed with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. They're a good tag team.
Okay, next is
Bobby Roode,
TNA, former TNA heavyweight champion and tag team champion, Bobby Roode against Andrade Almas. I never even heard of him.
me neither.
Well,
I don't watch that. I haven't watched that much of him.
That
All I know is this: Bobby Roode's got to win.
That looks like it'll be a squash match
for Bobby Roode.
Sure, because they're going to stop. They need to stop pushing him.
Absolutely, Bobby Roode. Let me tell you something. Bobby Roode. If the WWE could have got him a few years ago, would have been even better. I'm happy they got him now, but if they could have got him a few years ago, would have been great. I am very sure James Storm feels stupid not sticking with NXT because now we have beer money.
Well, there was a little rumor online that James Storm is leaving TNA, and he tweeted that he'll be rejoining his old partner soon. So he maybe.
Oh, I'm telling you now, Frank. If beer money reunites in NXT and then comes up to the main roster, you're going to see TNA fan Jimmy come to life. Because let me tell you, I used to love TNA, Frank. I used to watch it religiously. I used to love TNA, but this is pre-Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff coming in. I was a diehard TNA.
Oh yeah, they were a hot tag. They were probably at one point one of the best tag teams.
TNA had some of the best tag teams. You had Beer Money, you had the Motor City Machine Guns, you had the Dudleys. I mean, my God, they had a very good tag team division in TNA.
But James Storm came to NXT, I think, for one match, and then he just.
It was only a handful of matches.
Yeah, I think that was the idea. He didn't commit. He just
he didn't commit. But according to him, when he did leave NXT, he said that the door is always open for me. Which, you know what?
I think he just wanted to test the waters.
Absolutely.
Maybe both sides wanted to test the waters, and he did get a big pop when he came through the curtain.
Because the fans know who these guys are. To the guys on the page that think that these guys have no name identity, of course they do. Why do you think AJ Styles got the biggest pop of the night at the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, I'll agree to you to a certain point, but like I've said, I do have a little bit of a problem with the fans at Full Sail because I know
you're not the only one that has a problem.
They just cheer everybody, and like I said in one of my old videos. They used to do the same thing at ECW. ECW, they used to have those rabid, insane crowds. But if there was a hack in the ring or a jabroni in the ring, they would chant terrible things at him.
Well, I can tell you this: the NXT crowd never once has ever cheered Eva Marie.
Yeah, but I never heard. I don't know. All right,
that's a hack. You asked for a hack. I just gave you one.
No, she's not a hack. She's just.
Yes, she is. There's only one thing she's good for, and only her husband's getting that. So I say the hell with her.
Okay. Then we have the women's match, the NXT women's match.
Yes, we do. We have Asuka versus Bayley 2. I do not see Bayley regaining the title. I think she gets called up after SummerSlam.
Oh, I think right away. I think maybe she's definitely gonna. She might jump. To SmackDown since now supposedly Ava Marie is suspended.
Well,
which I think that's got to be a work. It's got to be part of the storyline. You
thought that the Roman Reigns suspension was a work. It's not. People are getting popped. A bunch of them are getting popped.
Oh well, let's just real quick. Isn't it interesting since Roman Reigns got suspended? Now everybody's getting suspended.
I don't know. No, there's only one guy one guy I could think of that should be suspended, but he's not. So
well, yeah, they never tell you what they're getting popped for, and
no, they don't. Which
could be anything. So it's not even worth it to speculate.
Well, but let's get back to the card. You think Asuka?
Oh yeah, Asuka. Yeah, because Bayley's. It wouldn't make no sense for Bayley to win the NXT.
Absolutely not.
Because she is the next in line to go to the main roster.
Well, I'm hoping, and this is just jumping ahead a bit, I hope that the directive is, however they do it, that WrestleMania 33, it's Sasha Banks and Bayley. Because last year at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, they had the greatest match of the year. When did you ever think, Frank? And that wasn't because of a lack of great matches. You had Kevin Owens and John Cena the first time. It was a great match. You had the three-way for the title at the Royal Rumble. It was a great match. There were tons of great matches in 2015.
Well, listen,
But Bayley versus Sasha Banks in Brooklyn for the NXT Women's title, you had grown adults in the audience crying when it was over because they knew they witnessed an
this is an
incredible.
NXT.
Yes, I know that's hard for you to imagine.
Oh my God! And yeah, that's another thing. When Nakamura, who did he challenge last time? Who was the last big match Nakamura had? Oh, against Finn. And he said, "I must beat you." And they panned to the audience, and one guy was like, "Oh my God!" And everybody's like, "Come on, man, what is that?"
I know. You don't like the wholesale crowd.
I don't have a problem with NXT fans. I have a problem with the fans that attend the TNA shows, the NXT shows. They become marks for themselves and I don't know.
It's called. This is what I'm gonna say, which is what I always say to those that have problem with the NXT UX. It's called suspension of disbelief.
I know, but
Come on.
I know, but they go into business for themselves.
If that's what your issue is, then I understand because you're trying to get noticed. If that's your problem, I get it.
That
I agree with.
What a normal person would react to a wrestler going, "I must beat you," and going, "Oh!" Like what is that? He looked like he just saw somebody get their head severed.
Well, let's hope we don't see that. But in this next match,
it's still real to them. Damn it.
Yeah, well, I don't care. This next match is going to make me lose my shit, Frank. I'm telling you, I can't wait to see it. And I hate my sister because she's going to get to see it in person tomorrow. Samoa Joe will be defending his NXT championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. Fuck yes! Fuck yes!
Is this the first time they've ever faced each other?
I don't know. And I don't care. Samoa Joe...
It's the first time they faced each other in WWE.
If Shinsuke's big matches in the last month and a half since WrestleMania are any indication of what to expect tomorrow, we should have very, very high expectations. He wrestled Sami Zayn to quite possibly the greatest match of the year. Then he wrestled Finn Balor to arguably the greatest match on NXT, the show, but the weekly episodic show. Now we're getting him and Samoa Joe. And to those,
wait a second. Hold on. Let's not forget, Samoa Joe's been delivering some good work.
Yes, he has, with Finn Balor. I mean, the heel turn was the best thing that ever happened to Samoa Joe. I felt that Joe should have been a heel.
He's got to be a badass.
Joe could only be one of two things. He could either be the credible heel or the badass anti-hero.
He reminds me of Taz in ECW.
Yes.
A very similar grappler.
Taz said the same thing many times about Joe.
And but listen, this is another thing. The reason why all these stars get pushed so much is because it is a development.
Good job. Job at the end of the
listen, there's a lot of talented performers all over the roster, but in NXT, the stars get pushed because they have to get pushed to get ready for the next level. And I've said this time and time again. They get 20 minutes. Balor and Nakamura at that last special, they got 25 minutes. They got the half the show to themselves. They're given the time and the opportunity. That's my beef when I keep saying we're not going to see the same characters on the main roster. Well, they're not going to give Nakamura 25 minutes on Raw.
Well, I'll tell you right now, they gave Finn Balor a lot of time in that Fatal 4-Way, and that was a great match. And then they gave him and Roman Reigns a lot of time, and it was good.
Yes, but again,
when you allow them to put in the time, they can.
Yes, and those are the exceptions. That a lot of these NXT stars don't have the same impact on the main roster because in NXT. They are the big fish, and that's what they're supposed to. That's the job of.
But I think that there's also a very big difference, Frank, because and once again I will go back to them. I will use the Wyatts as an example. When the Wyatts were down in NXT, let me tell you something, because I watched. I was able to find videos, especially through my sister, because you know how big of a Wyatt fan she is. The fucking lady had a friggin' vest made from the same person that makes Bray Wyatt's jackets and vests. When they were down in NXT, they weren't booked as the villains when they got over. When they got over, they were made anti-heroes. And the crowd embraced them. Now, if the WWE had any sense, which, you know, they've shown that they can have sense.
They do. They do.
Which I agree with Frank to a large degree. They know what they're doing. They just choose to do things their way. I think that if the Wyatts were booked the same way they were booked in NXT, in which they were credible, they won most of the time, and they were featured as anti-heroes, they would be a very big money drawing group.
Well,
Luke Harper and Eric Rowan were good tag team champions down in NXT. Bray Wyatt was arguably one of the most over guys in NXT. And think about it. You said it. The fans hold up the freaking cell phones every time he comes out.
They're pretty Bray Wyatt's popular now, and he never wins.
Imagine if the guy did pick up some steam and did have some credibility.
There you go. That's the thing. They know who to turn on and who to turn off.
No, and I think a lot of times the fans are afraid to grasp onto these guys because they think I'm just going to get let down. I mean, for how long was that the case with Dean Ambrose? For how long was that the case with Daniel Bryan and CM Punk? Punk was I remember one time Punk was in a main event, and then the next week he was in a bullshit match with R-Truth.
Because they tell you who to follow, who to pay attention to, and who to get invested.
But Hardcore Holly recently, and then I want to get into SummerSlam. Hardcore Holly on that interview, and I'm going to send it to you, Frank, with Solomonster said, they tell us all the time in the talent meetings that the talent makes their own push. Well, if that's true, then when a guy gets over, like Damian Sandow, and he gets really over, and then you let him go, what message do you think that sends to the crowd? Like, I'm going to quote Hardcore Holly. He says, you know, if it's true that the talent makes their own push, you know, these guys, they come up from NXT, they get cold, they say, oh, we got to pull the plug on them. Well, then how come they didn't pull the plug on Roman Reigns when he wasn't getting over? Because they choose who they want to push to the top. That's why a lot of guys like Nick, I'm not trying to insult you, Durst, you buy into the Cena gimmick, but you don't understand there were guys that could have taken his spot, but the WWE has chosen to not let people take his spot. Frank, can you please clarify this for me?
There's other intangibles that the average fan doesn't know or doesn't realize or doesn't need to know. There's other intangibles. They putting all your chips on a performer to be the main focus. You know, there's a lot of things backstage. You know, their work ethic, meaning do they show up on time? Do they have problems outside of the arena in their personal lives? You know, some guys or girls, they don't want to do all these appearances. They're tired. You know, they turn things down. There's things, you know, we don't know about, but it's a combination of everything. You know, it's not like I said with the Miz. It's the toughest guy doesn't always win. The most talented guy doesn't always win. It's a whole bunch of things, talent and ratings and fan appeal, but. Who knows?
But anyways,
who? Okay, so who do you think? You think Samoa Joe retains, or does Nakamura get?
That's one I can't predict.
I'm going to predict.
Like honestly, for me, it's the toss of a coin because I could see Nakamura walking out the title, but I could also see Samoa Joe getting the first clean loss on Nakamura.
I think there's going to be interference in this match.
Really? Who do you think's interfering?
Maybe Bobby Roode, or maybe somebody that maybe they're going to debut somebody that we don't know about. Who knows?
Well, I've seen pictures of Samoa Joe with Paul Ellering's new tag team, the Authors of Pain. Maybe they form an alliance of some kind.
I think there's going to be some interference in this.
Usually NXT's pretty clean with their title matches. You know, usually you get a decisive, 1, 2, 3 or tap out. And
I don't think Nakamura is going to taste the NXT championship because it doesn't make sense for him to hold it because I think he'll be up on the main roster by the end of the year. I definitely think he's debuting at the Royal Rumble in 2017. So it doesn't make sense.
An argument could be made that Samoa Joe belongs up there too. You add Samoa Joe to a fantasy card for WrestleMania 33, and you add Nakamura.
Yeah, but I'm talking about right now. Right now, they just did the brand split. They just did the draft. It's too much at one time. And plus, the other thing a lot of people fail to realize is they can't drain all the stars out of NXT.
No, of course not.
Yeah,
I was simply saying that a case could be made that Samoa Joe belongs on the main.
Of course.
Now let's get into, and like I said, I can't pick a winner. I'll tell you what, I'll flip a coin. Heads for Samoa Joe, tails for Nakamura. Heads for Samoa Joe. I'm going with Joe.
Just based on what I said, as far as the long-term planning, I'll have to say Samoa Joe retains the title.
So Samoa Joe is the guy we're both going with, although I wouldn't be upset if Nakamura won. Like that, and that's something I look for with the WWE. Give me a show that no matter who wins, the story will make sense and I'll be happy. Like, okay, let's get into SummerSlam. The first match I'm seeing on here is
and let's this is going to be a big long show. This is a 4-hour show.
13 matches.
Is it 4 hours?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's going to start at 7, right?
Yes, sir.
They just announced. I don't know if what you're looking at. They announced a 12-man tag team.
Yeah, I heard about that, but it's on the pre-show.
Oh yeah, okay. So I don't know what's going on.
And so is, and this is where I gotta go off. And so is fucking Sami Zayn. Why is Sami Zayn, who won the Feud of the Year in arguably one of the best matches of the year, in the fucking pre-show?
Oh,
that is just
because James, I told you, there's only so much at the top. He'll get a shot later.
I'm not talking about at the top, but fucking give him something.
It's top heavy this draft, but I'm looking at WWE.com. And the kickoff matches, they have 2 kickoff matches. So I guess they're going to merge those matches. They originally had Sami Zayn and Neville versus the Dudley Boys. And then they had American Alpha, the Hype Bros, and the Usos versus Breezango, the Ascension of the Villain. So now I guess they're just going to merge that into one match, 12-man tag team match. This is what I saw. I just saw this.
Well, I think Sami Zayn deserves way better than that.
He'll get a shot.
Sami Zayn does not belong in no pre-show. Not after all the years he spent down in NXT. Not after putting on the performance he did with Kevin Owens at Battleground.
They remember. They don't forget. Like I told you, they pay attention to everything. They see and hear everything, and they remember everything.
I still think it's retarded. We got Carmella, Becky Lynch, and Naomi versus Natalya, Alexa Bliss, and another partner that hasn't been determined yet because Eva Marie got suspended.
Maybe I think Becky might. Not Becky. Bailey, I think might take a spot.
No, Bailey's not going to be on a heel team. Believe me when I tell you, she won't be.
Okay, that's true.
So I have a feeling the Becky Lynch team will get the win. We got The Miz versus Apollo Crews. Either way, I don't care. If The Miz wins, then I'd like to see if I had the pencil in my hand, which I don't. If The Miz were to retain, I'd like to see him drop it to Bray Wyatt. I would love it.
I agree.
I've been saying, could you imagine Bray Wyatt stalking The Miz and stalking Marie, scaring the shit out of them? Story right yourself. You're the pretty boy. I'm the outcast. I've never had my taste of gold. Now I'm going to take yours.
It would make for good TV. But yeah, I don't see Apollo Crews. He's still too green, and the Miz right now.
Maybe he pulled him up too soon. As much as I like Apollo Crews, maybe he could have.
It's obviously a good sign. They're giving him a title match at SummerSlam for the IC belt. So I think this is a
proving ground for him.
They're throwing him in the water. See what you could do.
He either sinks or swims.
Right, but
The Miz got an easy opponent to work with The Miz.
I think The Miz will find a way to retain like I said, his act right now is really hot.
Well, he's got to drop it to a very hot babyface. Can we agree on that?
Yeah. That's what it is. They're building him up. The more over he gets, the more over the next person will get if they do it right.
Okay. Next match we have.
Oh wait, we missed Cesaro versus Sheamus. That's another kickoff match.
4-hour show, and we got Cesaro and Sami Zayn in the kickoff. I just don't get it.
Listen,
I'm going with Sheamus because I don't see Cesaro winning anything. It'll be like
Cesaro never wins, but and Sheamus looks like he's got from what I saw the other night, he looks like he's got a mean an invigorated mean streak in him. So yeah, maybe that's. But yeah, it just tells you. I tell you the clues. That just tells you what they think of certain people. And listen, Cesaro and Sheamus, two of the better workers in the whole company. Sheamus, maybe his character. He's still he could go in that ring. You give him the time.
He can. One of my favorite matches is Sheamus versus the Big Show, and the Big Show won the heavyweight title. That was a very, very good match.
Oh, and you know what? He's another guy that always slips my mind when I talk about in 2009, 2010, 2011 that WWE was trying to create a new star. You know, him, Sheamus, Del Rio, Jack Swagger.
I like Sheamus, but I love Cesaro. We forget
Sheamus. Sheamus was a multiple-time WWE champion.
Yes, he was.
So who's next?
But next we got Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens.
I really like this new team of Jericho and Owens.
So do I, but I think Enzo and Cass get the win in Brooklyn.
Yeah. How could you not? How could you not? Unless Jericho and Owens win this, and then they have the rematch the next night. Where is the Raw the next night? Do you know?
Barclay.
Oh, so yeah, maybe they do that. Maybe.
I would like to see this match end with Enzo getting the win on Jericho.
Yeah,
I would lose my shit.
Fat tits.
I know, because we know what they think of Enzo and we know what they think of Cass, and it's going to end up having the Roman.
Right. So far, I'm right, and you see they're starting to showcase Big Cass in singles matches. Did you see that? And listen, I don't see they showed it on Raw Monday. Big Cass was in a singles match against Owens, and Enzo was in his corner. I think Enzo would make a great manager.
Yeah, but if the guy could be a single star, why not?
I know. But listen, I think there could be more money in him being a manager and a hype man.
No, we'll see as time goes by, but I think Enzo and Cass get the win. Next, we got the New Day versus the Club. I say the Club is winning the tag titles. New Day got the record.
Yeah,
now the Club's going to get it.
And you see the writing on the wall. Big E's hurt, and it's
going to be Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods against Gallows.
Consequences Creed.
So I think Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson get the titles.
Oh, who knows? I mean, what if Big E does a run-in? Have they said anything about Big E, his status?
I haven't heard anything.
Right. They're making him out of sight, out of mind. I don't know. It's a tough one. Listen, I say it's been a long time. I say it's time for the Club to win.
I agree. As much as I like New Day, it's time. Next, we got Sasha Banks defending the title against Charlotte. I say Sasha Banks is winning. No other outcome makes any sense.
Right. Did you hear this post? I saw a post today that some fan reported that she was being rude to a fan.
Oh, please!
That's got to be garbage, right? And by the way,
to me, it is garbage.
The website that put it up, it got taken down. But see that fuels the conspiracy theories. Why would WWE pull it down?
Ridiculous. It's absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
To me, it's not even worth mentioning. It's retarded, and I don't care. I say Sasha Banks is winning. How about you?
Oh yeah. How could you take the title off?
Yeah. Next, we got Rusev defending the U.S. title against Roman Reigns. There's no other way.
Oh boy.
Roman Reigns is going to get booed out of that fucking building, and he is winning.
And here we go. This is the crux of this episode and this pay-per-view. One half of it, the new era. They pulled the plug on Roman Reigns. The guy failed miserably. He got a F, at best a D plus. Getting over with the fans. So
and now, they're still pushing him as a babyface.
Yeah, we saw it. What happened Monday? What happened the last two Raws? It was the Roman Reigns show. I told you they gave you that big cookie that first night with Finn Balor, and then what happened? We haven't even seen Finn that much, and it's been all Roman Reigns. You
notice the ratings were up when Balor was in the main event, and the last 2 weeks Reigns has been in the closing, and the ratings went down.
Unbelievable. And again, we discussed this earlier. I think right now the only way Roman Reigns could be saved is if he keeps losing. He's got to keep losing. We've been conditioned to seeing him win all the time. The guy went undefeated almost for 3 years with a couple of forgettable losses. He's got to lose. Why? And Rusev right now is really doing good.
Because the WWE has decided that Roman Reigns is their guy, and they don't care who they have to shove down the burial hole.
Fuck him. He embarrassed Lana. In that angle, Lana got cake smashed in the face. He embarrassed them. And why can't Lana? Why can't they just cheat? And they could protect him. He could still lose. Why can't Lana do something and interfere?
Because Roman Reigns is Vince McMahon's choice, and he doesn't care about the audience.
You saw Monday. Rusev put him in the camel clutch for 30 seconds, and he didn't give up. That's the problem right there. It's not believable.
Frank, you're hearing this from a Roman Reigns fan. I don't disagree with you. I don't even think Reigns should be in this match. I think Sami Zayn should be in this match because last I checked at Battleground, Roman Reigns lost. Sami Zayn won.
But it would be okay if they don't have to do exactly what I said, but something like that. They could make Roman Reigns lose, make Lana interfere and cheat, and it would put Rusev over. It's about creating stars. Think of his stock. His stock would go up. He beats Roman Reigns.
Rusev is able to win. His stock goes way up.
Listen, did you see that match Monday on Raw? This guy Rusev could go. He's an athlete, man.
Dude, I've been saying Rusev has been good for over a year. Why do you think I was so pissed off when they fed him 4 times in a fucking row to Cena? It's going to be no different here. Reigns is going to win the title, then he's going to beat him again, and then he's going to beat him again. Right. They're going to do the same fucking
They could stretch this for. They could give Roman the U.S. title down the road. I don't think Roman doesn't need the U.S. title.
No, he doesn't. Guys like fucking Sami Zayn and Cesaro need that fucking
title. Listen, I'm not beating them up.
Their stock. Bray Wyatt needs that title to elevate his stock. Roman Reigns' stock, even after the drug violation, is still pretty fucking high.
Listen, I'm saying I'm not beating them up, but even though Roman Reigns looks like a big dude, it looks like Rusev could take him in a fight in real life.
Rusev's a tough son of a bitch. There's no doubt about that.
But anyway, so what do you think? Your final prediction?
Roman Reigns is winning that match, and he's going to get booed out of the building.
I hope he gets booed. I hope he gets booed.
Frank, could you please explain to the audience before we move on to the next match why this frustrates you so badly?
Because it's predictable. It's predictable. It's like playing on cheat mode.
Personally, the reason I don't like it is because it insults the fans' intelligence.
It's not believable.
They're playing him as a hero, but he gets received like a villain.
Rusev pummeled him, and it's just like that match at Payback with AJ Styles. AJ Styles pulled everything on him. He did a 450 splash from the top rope and put Roman through a table. The club came out. They beat him up. That. And nothing. He can't lose. It's like playing on cheat mode. What's the fun of it if you can't?
I hear what you're saying, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Next, we get to even bigger frustration.
talk about the biggest cheat mode ever. Even in the game, he's almost in cheat mode.
Fucking John Cena versus AJ Styles. Get the shovel ready for AJ Styles because he's about to be buried. I don't care what anyone says. Working with a big name does not give you credibility. Beating a big guy gives you credibility. AJ Styles has 0. He's been in the WWE since fucking January. He's yet to win a program. I didn't want this fucking feud because I knew it was going to end here the same way it fucking ended for Kevin Owens, the same way it fucking ended for Bray Wyatt, the same way it fucking ended for the Nexus, the same way it ends for fucking everybody that feuds with this cocksucker.
Well, if it makes you feel any better.
It doesn't.
Cena does have a losing streak at SummerSlam. This is traditionally the pay-per-view where he loses. He lost to Punk. He lost to... whatever, but I'm saying he still loses. He lost to Punk. He lost to Brock. Oh no, did he lose? Yeah, he got squashed against Brock. He lost to Brock. He lost to Daniel Bryan. And there's a rumor that he's going to leave again to do a project.
Bon voyage, you fucking piece of shit.
So I don't know, and I think. Going forward, AJ Styles somehow needs to win this match. Now, there's another. I heard another stupid rumor that some celebrities might be doing spots during the show. They're saying maybe I can't think of his name. Who's the dude that helped Seth Rollins last year?
That was fucking Jon Stewart. Yeah,
they're saying he might screw John Cena over again and help AJ Styles. I mean, I hope not. I hope that
yeah. I'm only going to say this once in pertaining to this match. For AJ Styles, I want a clean fucking win. No excuses. 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles is the better man. Roman Reigns is able to sustain clean losses and move forward. John Cena, prove you can do the fucking same.
I think AJ Styles will win.
Well, he ain't winning clean, and that's all that fucking matters to me.
We'll see.
In this feud, AJ Styles has 0 credibility. 0.
Oh, he did beat him at the last pay-per-view.
Joe, Frank, whatever the fuck your name is, are you kidding me? You're kidding me, right?
At least, but I'm saying...
AJ Styles has to win with no excuses, no interference, no cheating.
No, I understand.
Bullshit.
I understand.
It's ridiculous. Why is it that in any other real story, the villain is the obstacle that needs to be overcome? Who's the obstacle in this match that has to be overcome?
John Cena. Well, yeah.
End of story.
He even proclaims that the future goes through him. He's telling you
future, because as long as he's got VKM in his back pocket, that friggin' piece of shit that he is will find a way to fucking get his.
Well, I'm saying maybe Styles will win this match, and then I'm sure
Styles doesn't win. I'm going to be pissed.
And I'm sure John Cena will get his win back.
John Cena is set for the rest of his life. You really think for a single second he needs to win this match? Of course he does.
AJ Styles, after this match, he's got to get thrust into the title picture again.
AJ Styles needs to know, in order to do anything.
Yes, he needs to win this match and get thrust.
Must win. Yeah, and he must win clean.
Tuesday night, AJ Styles.
CLEAN. Clean.
That's
Nothing
right.
less.
Tuesday night on SmackDown, AJ Styles needs to come out, say, I beat John Cena, and now he needs to face whoever the champion is.
Which, now we'll get into that match. Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler. There is no other outcome other than Dean Ambrose is winning this match. Dolph Ziggler has zero chance of winning this match. If Dolph was going up against almost anyone other than Bray Wyatt in this match, I would be rooting hard for Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah. Listen, just like at least all these these last 2 matches that we just mentioned, Rusev Reigns, Cena Styles. At worst, they give us great matches. But this is another Dolph Ziggler. This is Dolph Ziggler's job to give a top performer a great match and lose.
And that's a shame that that's what Dolph's role is, because he's so much better than that. He deserves so much better than that. And yes, I can say he deserves better than that because the fucking guy got himself over, and then the WWE proceeded to do what Frank has talked about: yank the carpet out from under him. It wasn't in the plan.
The Miz is on SmackDown, right?
Yes, he is.
So I'm thinking maybe
Ziggler's won the Intercontinental title enough times.
I'm saying he's feuded with the Miz, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't think that makes.
I have no desire to see that feud again.
Yeah, I don't want to see the Ziggler Miz feud.
I keep saying, and you notice who's absent from this fucking card thus far? Bray Wyatt. Where the fuck is he?
Oh, he got hurt.
He's not hurt. He's fine.
Oh, even worse.
You have one of the most talented, almost all-around talented guys since CM Punk, and you are doing dick with him.
Oh, that's not what that's not how they see him.
Glorified jobber. That's what you've taken one of the most all-around talented guys you have and turned him in.
He's a part-time glorified jobber.
And Frank, I get called negative for calling Bray Wyatt a glorified jobber.
Really? What fool says this?
I cannot mention names on here because I'm sure I'll get my ass chewed, but I'm told I'm too negative when I call Bray Wyatt a glorified jobber.
Okay, all right, whatever. Like I said, if go back, go watch WrestleMania this year.
I'm trying to forget that.
Not you. I'm saying that person. Go watch WrestleMania and see what happens. And then go look up the term glorified jobber and see what it is.
And next we have, I'm skipping Wikipedia because they have the wrong lineup, Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton. Brock is winning. And by the way...
I don't know. On WWE.com, Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton are listed as the top match also.
I know they are.
But maybe that's where Wikipedia gets there. But... Brock,
I'm skipping it because it doesn't belong as the main event.
No. Finn and Rollins has to close out the show, and I'll explain why in a minute. But Brock is
not moving.
Brock and Randy Orton. This could steal the show, and all this garbage about people calling Brock lazy and stuff. Please, anybody who says that, have you been watching Brock Lesnar's matches since 2012?
Stomp. Suplex, F5, win. That's all he's done.
Come on. Give me a break. He didn't take punishment against The Undertaker in those two matches?
You're talking about The Undertaker. You're talking about arguably the greatest of all time.
Okay, but I'm saying he did. But there's this notion now that since the Dean Ambrose podcast that Brock Lesnar's lazy. Did you see him split his head open against the ring post against Roman Reigns? And the last 10 minutes of that match, all the punishment he took, at Fastlane, he took 2 power bombs through the announce tables, and people saying he doesn't want to take risks. He wants to be safe. Are you kidding me? That's one of the
that comment that Nick made. I found
it's not only him; it's a lot of people. People hear the same thing and repeat it.
So I'm not talking about the laziness part because I do think that
he wants to play it safe. Are you kidding me? He took 2 power bombs to the table. Not one.
The month before WrestleMania.
And then the excuse was, he had to do that. He had to do that, so he didn't have to do it against
Dean Ambrose match. No, he was instructed to do nothing because they wanted to make Dean Ambrose look like a joke.
The only thing he doesn't have to do is lose. And if he's such a big star with such money, he's got the power to refuse to lose to somebody. And if it came to that, then they would just probably scrap the match. But as far as in the ring, Brock Lesnar does a lot of things. That match against the last match against The Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, when they ripped off the mat and they exposed the ring. Come on, man. Name.
But if you really think about it, Dean Ambrose didn't directly call Brock Lesnar lazy.
No,
he said he was met with laziness.
He said
in terms of creative,
he had ideas for the match. And he pitched it, and he says, I saw it. I went back and watched it again. He said, I pitched it to this guy, that guy, this guy. And I was met with laziness. And then he said, Brock didn't want to do anything creative. And for the record, that match was not 7 minutes. I was going by what you said. I actually went and looked it up last night. There was 12 minutes and 49 seconds. But don't you think people, the producers, went to Brock because he's a senior guy, and they told him, "Listen, this is a suplex." Again, like I said, my fingers are raw from typing. They had the suplex counter at the bottom of the screen at WrestleMania. Why do you think they put that there?
To show you how much of a joke Dean Ambrose is.
No, that's the whole match. That was the highlight of the match. It was a Suplex City highlight show. That's all it was. And again, people don't understand. Like I said, I don't think unless Dean is playing dumb or he's trying to work the fans, I think he's in the dark too. I don't think he is he stupid or something. Or is he in the dark? Was he in denial?
Well, the whole point of this feud was to show you how stupid Dean Ambrose is.
But I'm saying on the Stone Cold podcast, he's talking about he had ideas and he wanted to make this match great, and then he was met with laziness. Everybody was turning him down. What does that tell him? That match was not intended for him to do anything. They don't want
him to get his ass kicked.
They don't want him to get more over. They wanted him to look like
and why is that, Frank?
Because I've said this before a million times already. He was the most popular performer going into WrestleMania, and he was overshadowing Roman Reigns. That's why they teamed him up from the end of the Royal Rumble all the way to WrestleMania. It was so Roman wouldn't get booed on TV and on pay-per-views. It was to deflect.
Not that stopped the fans from booing him.
No, but it did. It did when they teamed together. It did because they cheered Ambrose. But it was meant to bury Dean Ambrose. And what happened after WrestleMania with Dean Ambrose? What did he do? Nothing. He was talking to plants, eating sandwiches. He was in a forgettable feud with Chris Jericho. Well, what was the highlight of that feud? That Chris Jericho got 69 thumbtacks in his body.
Pretty much.
That was it. Nobody. That was it. That's all. Even something that was supposed to make Ambrose look good. Nobody even remembers that. They remember Jericho and the thumbtacks in his body.
Yeah, and to finish this off, this thought, yes, they did try to fuck Dean Ambrose over because
they said
wasn't in the plans to get that over. And the only reason he's wearing the WWE title over his shoulder is because of the wellness violation.
Not even. It's because Roman Reigns failed. He was getting booed. And it wasn't getting better. It was getting worse. They had to do something. It was becoming embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
And who's to blame for that?
The same people who push him.
Vince McMahon.
No, it's not just Vince McMahon.
It is Vince because he's the one with the final say. The buck stops with him.
You know who's Roman Reigns' biggest supporter?
Stephanie McMahon.
Even more, everybody's favorite hero, the savior of WWE, Triple H. That Roman Reigns has been his handpicked guy since NXT.
Actually, no, that was Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, Stephanie McMahon picked John
Triple H has no choice but to go along with what his dumbass wife and his father-in-law want because they're in charge.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Once he's the guy guiding the ship, you ain't going to see that shit.
Who's going to guide the ship?
Triple H.
He ain't going to guide the ship. Stephanie McMahon's going to be the CEO when Vince steps down. And Shane, you forget what you think. They're going to hand Triple H the keys to the kingdom. He's going to stay where he is. He's going to be the CEO, and that's it. Stephanie McMahon is going to probably wind up being.
And you really think that if Triple H challenges her, that she's just going to fire him? He's going to probably
no. She's the CEO.
But he'll be the only one with the courage to challenge her on ideas.
Listen, they're married. It's his wife of 17 years, the mother of his children. They're gonna talk things over in bed or wherever, the pillow talk.
But the point I'm trying to make is it'll only be 1 versus 1. It won't be 1 versus 2. I think Triple H will have a better chance of making things better, which he has done, like it or not, through NXT and the guys we've gotten from that. And I think they'll be more protected and more safeguarded.
You really think so, James? Come on, are you kidding me?
When Vince and Kevin Dunn are no longer around, yes, I do.
I think it might get worse.
Oh, come on.
James, Triple H booked himself to be the champion at the Royal Rumble. He wrestled once, and he. You want to talk about times that everybody's complaining about that the Ambrose and Brock, they weren't given enough time. Do you know how? I looked this up last night. Do you know how long the match at WrestleMania between Triple H and Roman Reigns was?
No.
The action, just the match, not including the pre-match. The 28 over 28 minutes. It was the 10th longest match in WrestleMania history. It was a bore fest.
I'm not disagreeing with you on
and
that.
You want to talk about risks? How much risks did Triple H take in that match?
None.
Oh, he went on top of the second rope and dropped an elbow. It's okay when he's part-time, right?
No, it's not.
No, but I know you don't. But everybody.
I don't think he should be beating guys like Dean Ambrose and Dolph
Booked himself again to be the 13th-time WWE champion, the savior, the new era.
So I get
that ruined WrestleMania.
No, the whole WrestleMania sucked
because
it wasn't just the main event, Frank. Not a single match on that WrestleMania card except the women's match delivered.
In my heart, I think every one of those matches was intended to be downplayed because the whole WrestleMania weekend was all about Roman Reigns' coronation. I think so. And I don't know what Triple H, the savior. People forget this guy. This guy used to rip up scripts. It's all about him.
No one forgets about that.
And people keep saying Triple H, the savior. What? We're gonna get boring 20-minute promos for him every week. He's the savior.
Well, maybe that should be our next.
He's part of the problem. And again. I don't want to keep going on a diatribe here. People say he's a genius. He signed this guy, that guy. Who did he sign? He signed the stars. If I would have gave you a blank paycheck and the blessings, you would have went and signed Nakamura. You would have went and signed Kevin Steed.
Yeah, but you also have to remember that the asshole guiding the ship for the last 35 years doesn't have the brains to do that.
James,
Vince didn't sign Steve Austin. Jim Ross did. No, Vince didn't sign The Rock. Pat Patterson did. Vince didn't sign Mick Foley, The Undertaker. But they talked about it.
Vince McMahon, it doesn't have time to look at every tape and every wrestler from all over the world. He's got a lot of responsibilities. That's why
he's got enough time in his life to fucking push the shit out of Cena and shove it down everyone.
Oh, well, listen. That's why he pays all these people. To go out and find talent, and then when he gets them, he evaluates them and sees what he could do with them. When they signed
lack thereof.
When they signed Mark Calloway, he took another average big wrestler and turned him into the Undertaker. Right? That was Vince McMahon's vision. He loved the idea of that old Western Undertaker.
3 characters Vince created on his own that he deserves 100% credit for.
There's more.
The Undertaker, Kane, Goldust. I cannot think of another character that Vince himself created that.
James, you're gonna fall off your chair here, but go read what Daniel Bryan said in that interview when he was promoting his book. Vince McMahon came up with this. He said he wanted to promote Daniel Bryan as the ultimate underdog. He said, I fell off my chair. Vince McMahon invented the yes chant.
Well, then I'm going to have to read his book because I'll believe that when I see it.
Go online and look up read the interview. But
let's get back to SummerSlam. I don't think there's a way Brock is losing. Not a chance.
No, yeah, I think it'll be a great match. I think we'll see this Randy Orton get suplexed. And then I think Randy Orton will pull an RKO out of somewhere.
I'd love to see Orton just kick him in his fucking head and beat him.
Nah, it's not gonna happen.
I know it's not gonna happen, and I'm fine with that. Listen, but I would just love to see Brock.
I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but they did have a match. What was it, back in
2002, leading into Unforgiven, when Brock
on SmackDown. It was on SmackDown, I think.
And it was a squash.
Yeah, he wrecked him.
But that was also Randy Orton when he was less than a few months into his career.
Right.
Now you're talking about the Viper.
I know.
But even so, it'll be the same result. Brock will win. And now let's get to what should be and what to us is the main event.
And the symbol of the new era. They're going to unveil the new WWE.
How do they unveil a new championship, which is a world title, and not have it close the show?
I don't think they're gonna unveil it on SummerSlam. I think they will have the coronation of the new champion opening up on Raw. So we're not gonna see the actual belt. I think in SummerSlam we're gonna. I
think that'd be very disappointing because usually when
are you kidding me? Ratings. Why give it away?
I understand that, but when you are winning a title, there should be a belt in your hands. That's just me, and I'm sticking with my prediction. Finn Balor wins with the coup de grace, 100% clean. Seth Rollins wins. It's the same old shit.
Yeah, as far as booking for Seth Rollins to win, then it's old. It's like that old storyline they had last year. Then he's going to be kissing up to the Authority, to Stephanie and Mick Foley, and just the way they built up Finn on that Raw episode,
he's got to get the title.
Yeah, and they promoted the demon gimmick. He's going to come out as a demon,
and the people went nuts for it.
Yeah, but I know you disagreed, but I thought they should have never have debuted. Not debuted, but they
showed the character. Maybe they should have just shown a video package.
They should have teased it, or maybe teased it and have.
I think the reason they did is because they wanted to see how the crowd would react, and they reacted very well.
Yeah, they should have had maybe Seth guessing all night and being scared or whatever, and then they had them fight, and that's where the fans were quiet. I think the fans were confused. I don't understand. They would never have done that in the old days. They must be desperate for ratings or something. I don't know.
Because the
how could you let them touch until SummerSlam? Build suspense. But yeah, do you think there's going to be any screwy finish in this Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins?
I hope not. I hope that this match is pure.
Does the club come in and interfere? And
They probably will help Finn win, which I will not.
They got the T-shirt already printed. They put it up on his entrance, the Balor Club Worldwide.
Well, if they choose to do it,
I think this is going to be a great match. I think this is going to be a great match.
This match may steal the show. I would be very surprised if it doesn't. Right. I think Finn Balor's good enough on his own.
Somehow, some way, though, and I keep telling you.
Because I'm starting to agree with Frank 100%, because now people are worried about his promos, but they had no problem with Roman Reigns being on top and he couldn't talk worth a fuck. Why is it that every guy that wins the title has to come out and talk for 35 minutes every fucking Monday? It should be an event when the champion comes out to say something.
That's
if you really think about it. When Stone Cold was the champ in the Attitude Era, he spoke for maybe 6-7 minutes, and that was it.
Hulk Hogan in the 80s
never came out and cut promos.
No, backstage. Never. Backstage. It was all backstage. Anyway, I'm tired of talking about that. But anyway, somehow, some way, I think Finn comes out
and that's NXT and that's SummerSlam, fellas. Frank, will you be in attendance for either of these events?
What's tomorrow? Saturday?
Tomorrow is NXT, and then Sunday is SummerSlam. So tomorrow I'm working until 7 p.m., and then the next day I'm off entirely.
Okay, most likely tomorrow. Because I have to paint. I have to paint my house. So.
No, if it's easier for you, just come by.
Yeah, probably tomorrow. No, tomorrow night for NXT. That'll be better.
All right, so you're not gonna be able to make it for SummerSlam?
Probably not, because I have to paint. So
all right, not a problem.
Tomorrow will be the better. Tomorrow, what's today? Friday?
Today is Friday.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so tomorrow night.
For the next 17 minutes, it is Friday.
Okay, so yeah, tomorrow night, and NXT starts what, 8 o'clock?
Yes, and I will be home. I get home from work at 7 o'clock on the dot.
Okay, so I'll get there at 7:30 or something.
All right, my friend. That's going to do it for Frank and myself. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys enjoy NXT Takeover. And for those of you that'll be attending, and I hope you guys enjoy SummerSlam. For those of you that'll be attending, have a safe weekend and take care, guys.